I'm curious what happened in Fantasy Suite.
Okay, I'm going to tell you. So,
welcome back to Access Hollywood's Grandma's Hot Takes. Grandma, you're here in
the studio with Joan.
And look who is here.
Very exciting, very exciting.
Oh my gosh, this is a step up from the couch.
Yeah, it is a big step up from the couch. I have a big chair.
You have a big chair. Joan, thank you for being here. We're so excited to talk all things Golden Bachelorette.
Thank you.
And Grandma, thank God we haven't said anything bad about Joan so far.
No, I really love
I'm
you,
not coming.
Joan.
Because you wouldn't be coming.
You're going to be mean, I'm out.
I don't have anything bad to say.
There's nothing bad to
thank
say
you for saying
whatsoever. We've had so much fun watching this season, and I know you relate a lot to Joan.
Definitely. You've been good therapy for me.
Thank you. I kind of hope that would be the case, that like, this wasn't just about me, because there's like millions of people out there like us who have lost our spouses, and like this should be about dating at our age and how like it's not awful and it can be fun and it's not you know, like it's not degrading. You don't need to feel embarrassed.
No.
Like, it can be fun. Like
It's
there's nothing
getting
wrong
back
with
out there.
old people falling in love. It's okay.
Yeah, old people falling in love.
You gotta like go for it.
I
Don't you
know.
think she should go for
She's
it?
beautiful. Yes.
I feel like you should go for it.
I do. I dated a lot in the beginning, but now I think what's happened, I've just gotten very comfortable with my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And
I can see that happening.
that's kind of how I feel like with you, that you know, you've got to get out there and do all that and then just get comfortable.
Get comfortable in that lifestyle, hopefully.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't really gotten comfortable in the widow lifestyle, honestly. It's been very uncomfortable. It's been the opposite. I feel like very untethered, and like I don't have my person. And even though like I have a great support system, I have great friends, I have a wonderful family who I with all the time, I still feel like I'm missing something, like I'm not attached to, I'm not grounded anymore.
It takes time. It took me almost 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and before I could say, oh, I'm Linda, and I can do this.
And I'm okay with this.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with it. But it does take
takes
time.
a while. Okay.
But you've got to give
I
yourself
would get there.
time. You'll
Okay.
get there.
You'll get
Oh
there.
yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about hometowns because there's
Yes.
so much that happened, but
It's very good.
very good. But before we get into that, I do want your hot take, Joan, because Martha Stewart recently said that she would not be the Golden Bachelorette because the guys aren't hot enough.
And I think they're very hot. I thought you had a good group to pick from.
Well, by the way,
I liked all of them.
I DM'd her last night.
You
I
did!
don't know if she's read it yet, but I did, and I said, okay, dating is hard out there, and I had a great group of guys. She doesn't know them like I know them.
No.
I got to know the inside of them as well as the outside, and both are wonderful.
You were lucky. I liked all of them.
They are great
Even from
guys.
the beginning, I said to Lauren, I said, I like this group of guys.
Yeah, you had a good group of
The
guys.
team
good
did a
variety.
great, the team did a great job of picking them, because even if you know, before I knew them, like the, you know, like what they were about and their stories and their backstories are all so wonderful. I mean, they are there for a reason.
Oh yes.
When they got out of the limos that first night and they started walking towards me, every single one of them did something memorable and like made me want to get to know them more. And
Right.
I guess Martha sort of didn't watch or didn't see what I saw in them, and maybe you have to be in person.
Yeah.
I don't know, but they were special guys.
No,
I
it's
thought
coming
so.
off
I
the
liked
screen
them.
too. I think they're like totally great guys.
I
thought
feel
it
like
was
everybody's
good.
falling in love with them.
I know.
I'm like, what's wrong with you, Martha?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you, Martha?
They're awesome
Oh yeah,
guys.
exactly. Good old Martha.
But I DM'd her last night. I'm waiting for a response.
I bet you she will respond.
I hope
And then
so.
maybe she'll give Love on the Golden Bachelorette a chance.
Sure. Maybe we'll invite her to the finale.
Well, maybe
She
I
can
think
meet
that's
in
what
person.
you need to do.
I know.
That's what, because now we have
Meet in
a
person.
group of single
Yeah.
guys. Maybe one of them with Martha.
Could happen.
Good. Maybe one of them with Grandma.
Oh yeah, you never
Could
know.
happen.
You never
You
know.
gotta come too.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Okay, so we want to talk about hometowns, but you did say that after hometowns you felt less confident than you were at the beginning of the journey. Kind of walk us through that.
Yeah, that happened because I mean, some of the hometowns were really good, and I felt even a stronger bond. But my hometowns, both my Chicago ones, kind of didn't go as I expected. And I know this is probably really naive, and I can't believe I'm actually going to say this on the air. But I thought, you know, me falling in love with more than one man was going to be really hard. But I thought they were all supposed to fall in love with me. Surprise! They don't all do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and I kept saying this is a two-way street. Obviously, you know, we have to both feel the same way about each other. But I just thought it'd be easier for them because they only had one of me. I had a lot of them. And it came as a surprise to me when both Jordan and Pascal said they weren't really there yet and didn't know if they were going to get there. Well, that's kind of Jordan's word was, I'm not sure I'm going to get to where you need me to be at the end of this whole journey. And Pascal said, I'm really guarded. I've had my heart broken before, and I'm not sure, like, I need to take this really slowly. Well, by the time you're at Hometowns, there's not any slowly anymore.
Exactly. Some
fast.
decisions have to be made.
It's fast. So both of them caught me off guard, honestly. And I left there
I could see it
and I
on
was
your
like,
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, even before you said
deflated.
anything, I saw it on your face.
Yeah.
Because you definitely, like, Pascal kind of, like, in the beginning, we're like, oh, whatever about this guy.
I wasn't sure about Pascal.
But then...
But he grew on me.
He's grown on us
grew on me.
a lot.
Definitely.
He's a good man.
He is a good
you know,
man.
He played the, entitled guy at
Yes.
the mansion.
At
None
first
of
he
that
did.
was an act. I mean,
Having
certainly
his-
that is how he lives. But
Yeah.
when you know about where he came from and how he's self-made, and he's really a very kind person.
Right.
And
I
you
saw
kind
that.
of saw that with his relationship with Mark.
Yes.
Who's also like such a great person. Like Mark would never have somebody that wasn't genuine in his
No.
life. So you knew that Pascal was real.
I can imagine a life, the two of you guys having that life. Because before the journey started, we talked, and you said, you just want someone to travel with, someone to have fun with.
Yeah.
But how is that going into then the rose ceremony, deciding between the two, and knowing that, like, what if they don't want me back?
And that's a risk you have to take on the
Right.
show, and also like it's like a leap of faith. So some decisions you make, as much as you can think through them, you just have to take the leap. So when I was kind of faced with which one of those two, because I had my other two kind of set.
Right.
I knew Guy and Chuck were coming. I did not know if I should choose Jordan or Pascal, and I had feelings for both of them, and it was really about who I could see maybe getting to the end where we needed to be, and I felt more confident that would be Pascal. And not only that, I really, like you said, I really love his lifestyle. He's fun. He's very spontaneous.
Yes.
My late husband was very spontaneous. It must be a quality that I like in somebody, because when he showed that side of him, I immediately kind of gravitated to him.
Right.
And so that kind of went into it also. I also loved his family. He had the cutest grandson
yes,
in the
he
entire
really
world.
did.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I liked his kids. I met some of his friends. So I liked his lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with not doing your laundry and having to cook for yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't hate that idea.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And he grew on me, because at first I wasn't sure.
Hometowns are really important.
Yeah.
And especially for our age,
Right.
because you have to picture your lives like you being
With the
in
families.
each other's lives.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I'm not moving to where they are, and chances are they're not going to move to where
No.
I am. So you have to picture yourself spending time
Right.
in their homes.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
I would imagine that must be the hardest thing, is, you have the younger group of bachelorettes that they're good with moving. But
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
they're young.
imagine.
Their world is
young.
young.
They have nothing
But like,
established
I
yet.
can't imagine you moving,
No.
or like
No.
Chalk leaving
No.
his
No.
little, Wichita.
No.
So I would imagine that must be really hard. Then going into like, are we going to get engaged? What does that even look like in marriage?
Yeah, or what does that look like in travel, and how do we
Right.
see each other and stuff like that? I mean, that is certainly the consideration. I think the harder thing would be to say, you either have to move to me, or I have to move to you, or we have to move someplace else, which is what the younger bachelors and bachelorettes
Yeah,
do.
but-
That's
Right.
not really on the table for us.
No,
So you
no.
have to really have a conversation about how are we going to make our relationship work?
Right.
Am I going to come stay with you for 2 weeks? Are we going to find another place where we meet
Yeah.
up?
Right.
How are we doing this?
Exactly.
Which is honestly
or
like
just
the-
take just
Kind of fun, right?
It's
though?
kind of fun.
I know.
Yeah,
I don't hate
would
this
say
idea.
it would be fun. I would love it.
I'm
I've
newly
always
married,
wanted
and
that.
I'm like, that sounds
Yeah.
fun.
No.
This doesn't need to be a negative. This could be a positive.
Yeah, you don't have to do his laundry. You can. He leaves.
Thank
There's the
goodness.
door. Bye bye.
Yeah,
See you in
in
a
a few
week.
weeks. I'm gonna go out with my
Sounds
girlfriends.
perfect to me.
I know. That's
There's
the worst
the
idea.
door.
There's the door. See
There's
you
the door.
later.
Bye bye.
Everybody's like saying, "How are you gonna make this work?" I'm like, it doesn't sound so hard to me, honestly.
No, it isn't. Just
Yeah.
they come to visit. You go on great trips.
And they come and
Yes.
visit to you when you're doing something fun in your life, and you go to them when they're having something
Yes.
fun. Like you
Right.
get to do all the good stuff,
Do the fun stuff.
and not
exactly.
the like here we
You've
are
already
at
done
home
the
staring
hard
at each other.
stuff.
Yeah, I've done
Yeah.
the hard stuff.
You've done You don't need to do that
You
again.
don't need to do any of that anymore.
We do have some fun moments though coming up, because
Yes.
now you're off to Tahiti, and
I'm curious what happened in Fantasy Suite.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. So, I decided, I thought about Fantasy Suites a lot.
Yeah.
Did that make
Because
you nervous?
obviously, well, made my kids nervous.
They're like, for the love of God, Mom, please
do
don't.
not
Don't embarrass us,
They go,
Mom.
the name is even gross. Yeah. And I was like, all right. So I decided to call them conversational cabanas.
Oh, well, that,
I renamed it, but I decided that I really was very uncomfortable with a physical relationship with more than one person. It's
Yeah.
not my thing. It's fine for everybody who does it. It's just not for me.
Exactly.
So I decided I was taking that off the table. I wasn't going to do that with anybody.
Right.
But I did want the off the camera time
Yeah.
because you need to have, there's conversations you need to have that you don't want the world to know about.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we did them, but there were no beds in the room.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
So
and
you
like
just
at the end of the evening, I was like, see you later. It
Yeah.
was great getting to know you. And
Okay.
And went on your way. Okay. Because I was curious if you really went all the way.
did not.
Good. Good for you.
Did not do that, no.
Give it time. Give
Yeah,
it time.
yeah.
time.
And
Okay.
like I would also think, and I was right about this, that the men wouldn't want to think of me having been with one of the other guys.
Exactly.
If I picked somebody, that would be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And were you still, without giving anything away, were you still pretty confused with who was the top in that moment, or did you kind of have the decision made going into Fantasy Suite?
So when we did the individual dates in Tahiti and Bora Bora and
Yeah.
Moorea, I formed really good connections with all three of them.
Oh, God.
So it became more confusing, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we just done Hometown, so I knew I felt comfortable in that environment. And then it was just literally like all the tests had kind of been done now. I've
Right.
done family, we've done group dates, we've done a lot of things. Now it's just about us and picturing us together. And all the dates were really good,
And how?
which I didn't want.
No, which honestly,
I need
that sounds like a
some couple
nightmare.
lousy dates, yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare because
Yeah.
then the guys are probably telling you that they love you. And how did you handle that?
So I was really careful, even though maybe I was feeling pretty strong feelings about more than one, that I didn't say it back. And I had made a promise to myself that I wouldn't do that because that always gives them an idea that they're going to be picked. And like that's really unfair. I
Right.
don't want to set them up for, I mean, at this point, someone's going to be heartbroken, which is awful anyway. And I would, if I didn't have to do that, like that, if that didn't have to be part of this journey, that
Right.
would obviously be my choice, but that's really not. So to make it worse I want to make it better, not worse. So I
Right.
did not say it back.
Joan, well, we cannot wait for the finale. But like, is there a little tease that you can give us? Because
Yes,
we are
a little tease,
dying.
a
We
little.
need a little tease.
Yeah, I mean, like all Bachelor endings, this is certainly a surprise. There was a lot of thinking I had to do and considering these, the men at the end. And as you know, I had some angst with Pascal. And then I had two guys that were, very much falling in love with me. And as you know, it doesn't always go smoothly. No. So a lot of emotions in the last episode.
We do want to know, though, before we let you go, the Golden Bachelor next season.
Yeah,
People
what do you think?
already think maybe Mark, maybe we're all here for Jonathan.
I like Jonathan.
We love
he
Jonathan.
Was a
He's the greatest
sweet
person.
man.
He's
I
such
could tell
a
you
sweet
really
man.
liked him.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a very sweet
Yeah,
gentleman.
he was very hard to say goodbye to Jonathan, and
Yeah.
I hope that I will get to speak to him a lot more. Like
Oh,
right now,
good.
before the show is over, we don't.
So
don't
right
talk.
now
can't.
you can't really
Yeah.
talk to him.
No, but
okay.
I cannot wait to reach out to him because he's a really special person.
Very
Yeah.
Really, really is. But as far as the Golden Bachelor, I think that there are like quite a few really good options.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea who they will pick or if they'll even ask me my opinion, but
Yeah.
I have opinions. I'm not sure if I'm going to help them make a decision because I have a lot of opinions about like, who
right.
could be really good. They all have special qualities. Like you said, Jonathan, he's like the kindest person. He's such
Yes,
a great
very
dad. All of them have really,
All of them have a chance.
there's like 5 or 6 that I could think would be a good Golden Bachelor.
right. The guys really bonded.
Also that.
bonded.
Yeah.
I got the feeling that the men, for men, you don't see that because women bond, but they bonded. A lot of hugging going on,
A lot of
tears,
crying.
a lot of, and
came
them
as a
talking,
surprise to
and
everyone.
them talking with each other, which I think is really important because men don't open up.
Right.
They
So I think it
don't.
was therapeutic for the men.
It-
So that's why I keep saying
I
you've done a
agree.
lot because, I don't know who you picked or if you do pick someone, but you got to feel good about yourself because you brought a lot of people together.
I love that. Like the show did that really. I can
Yes.
take very little credit for that. But I do see what you're saying that they, even if, we don't end up together,
Right.
they ended up forming these friendships. And, like we talked about a minute ago,
Yeah.
you're in this weird group and this weird age where if you're single, you don't have a lot of friends that you can relate to.
No.
So like when I went on The Golden Bachelor, I all of a sudden had like my tribe of people that all of a sudden I was in a room with 21 other people who know exactly how it feels to go out to dinner with the girls and they all go home to their husbands and you go home to the empty house.
Yes.
Or to be the person at the wedding, table that everybody else has their spouse and you're
And
like
there
the
you are with
ninth
the empty
wheel
chair.
or whatever, right? You have your chair. So they found the same thing in the house. But what was surprising was they talked about it. So we knew they were all going to be like kind of from the same world, living in that same weird world, but that they opened up so great with each other. We thought they were going to go and talk about like their golf game and how their baseball team is doing.
No, it was so deep.
So did not happen.
They definitely opened up.
And I just have to shout out to Charles.
We all need to shout out to Charles.
Like,
Charles,
so
we love
sweet,
you.
Charles.
Oh, love Charles.
He's
so
like
much.
the most innocent adult I've ever met.
I
He's
just wanted to
he's
hug
so
him.
pure. Like how did you not get jaded?
Yes, yes. You'll probably be friends with all these gentlemen
yeah,
afterwards.
absolutely.
I can see it. I could see when you walked them out and said goodbye to them that you have formed some really special relationships.
That is
which
very
is
true.
good for you.
Which is
and good for them.
I know. Like,
Yeah.
this is a very fast journey, so you don't
Yes.
have any like, hey, how's your day going kind of conversations. They're like, so how'd you end up here? Like, what happened to your wife? And, how was it being a single father? And tell me about like the future. Like you talk big conversations, so you bond really quickly.
Really quick. Really quick. Yeah.
Well, we're so excited to see the ending. I want to know so bad, but Grandma will just have
can
to
hardly
wait.
wait.
And Joan, we'll have to talk to you after, so then you can actually
I would love
spill
that.
all
And
the
we
tea.
can talk all about
And
it.
we
I
can
know,
talk
because right now I'm
everything.
like a belch of purse.
You're like, I
and
can't say
can't.
anything.
It's
So
gotta be hard. It's gotta be hard to keep that.
It's
that
really hard,
secret.
but I have
'Cause
a
don't
producer
keep
here that's
secrets
giving me
well.
dirty
Yeah,
looks,
we
so
have-
we can't do
we
it.
got
Can't do it.
we can't do it. Can't
Yeah.
do it.
But
like,
no, we're good.
We're good. We're being good. You were good today.
I was.
You didn't
Well,
say
she's
any-
so sweet.
I know.
She didn't cuss at all.
She didn't cuss. She didn't say anything
I didn't
crazy.
say any bad words. I learned my lesson last time.
There you go.
I was ready for you.
No.
I was going to cuss with you.
Next
If we're
time.
going down together.
No, I'm working on this personality. I know.
I do not do any work.
I'm
It's
cleaning up the
perfect.
act.